Hella, I just got triggered. You'll probably have an opinion on this. Ralph, how are you? AJ, you'll probably have an opinion on this. But I was just watching, I was preparing some baits, and I was watching the uh, BTL with Johnny and Matt, and they were talking about this app, the Deep Dive app. And I know Johnny and Randy are compadres, and you can't tell me that this app is any better or worse than LiveScope. If you want to talk about detrimental damage to a lake or whatever he thinks that is happening from live scoping. If you're telling me there's an app out there that I can get on and they have collected 20 years of tournament data and I can go and obviously target the best areas of the lake with the biggest, tournament quality fish, it's laid out for me. That seems like a much more harmful tool than LiveScope. So I don't know how his little compadre he can be okay with, but also uh, anti LiveScope. Or Tony Christian at the Deep Dive app. Um, well, glad you could join today, Ralph. Um, but like at the end of the day, say you go to an open like or say me and Hella go fish a team tournament next weekend and there's 200 boats out there, just theoretically, and this app is hugely popular and just blows up, and we all look on the app and we all get the same pattern and we all run around and do the same thing, what's the point? Right? Like, who gives a shit at that point? Like, if you have to fish against a bunch of guys that are riding around fishing shit because an app told them to, uh, I don't understand. Like, conceptually, it's cool to be able to gather the data and like say, all right, this is this, but like, uh, I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Very odd. Brian, it's called Deep Dive, and they have taken all this tournament data over the last 20 years, and they have compiled it. And if they were using Toledo Bend as an example, and it gathers all the information from the last whatever results of tournaments there, and then it compares it to lakes that are also similar within some sort of 90% of like average depth and like all this other shit, and shows you what like the patterns from those type of lakes would be. And but even then, like, it seems like fishing is getting so watered down that at the end of the day nobody actually wants to fish and think. Hell, I heard about it in theory. I didn't know that it ever came to fruition. Um, it is alive. How about that? I did not know that. I knew it was. uh, in the works. But I don't know. Call me an old crabby dipshit, but like if this is the wave of the future of bass fishing, like I'm gonna be that old like angry dude in a damn 12-foot John boat, just pissed off, talking shit to all the damn sparkly boat guys. Because I don't think this is the way. I mean, I really don't think this app sell your Delta juice holes for gas money. No, I don't know that there's any such thing. You could probably give all the juice holes down here. You could probably take any collection of juice and it still wouldn't matter. Uh, but I don't know. It seems like how bad do people need to be spoon fed, like going out and just like thinking, because this is just going to screw them up even more. Because if their stupid app doesn't work or their phone dies, they're gonna be like, "How am I gonna catch a fish?" Oh, you know what I mean? Like, but those are the type of guys that are gonna be using this shit. And like, what are you really creating? You're not creating a fisherman. You're creating a, I don't know what you're creating. Yeah, that's exactly right. Nobody wants to figure them out, but they want to be up on stage holding their holding their trophy. So who's going to be the first guy that walks up on stage and say, "Man, I want to thank my family, and what I really want to thank is my cell phone for providing me this app, and because without it, I couldn't have won. Because I really don't know jack shit about fishing, but the app told me that 60% of the tournaments are won on shell beds. So I went to the first hard bottom shell bed point that my app told me to, and I threw a deep diving crankbait like it told me to, and started catching them. And I just did that, and I won. It's all part of the Lord's plan. Oh, I don't know, dude. This is like Randy can't be okay with this, right? Have they parted ways, or are they still in cahoots? Johnny and Randy. I don't know that I've seen any Johnny Randy collabs lately, but I know they were pretty tight there for a while. But you can't tell me Randy can badmouth Live Scope, and he's okay with this shit. Because I think this is worse. He is. They probably pulled all his shitty data from the last 10 years. Uh, Ralph just buy an old good used one. I think that's the fun of it, though, Brian. Like, are people so scared to lose that they like that doesn't matter anymore? Like, you keep trying. Like, that's what makes you go back is when you don't figure it out, and you like lay awake at night. And you're like, damn, what did I do wrong? What could I have done different? And then you pull out your app and you go, ah, silly me. I wasn't fishing stumps in 4 feet of water with a drop shot. What a fool. I should have been on my deep dive app sooner, and I would have caught 16 limits. I would bet money that Blockett and Johnny are business partners on most ventures. I would probably say so. I would not disagree with that. Uh, but at the end of the day, I think we all fish for the same reason, because you get a large amount of enjoyment from actually catching fish, but at the end of the day, putting the puzzle together and knowing that you did the right thing. You know what I mean? You made the right decisions, you figured it out. You give yourself a pat on the back and you say, I did it. I figured those little bastards out today. It was tough, but I did it. On the other hand, if you go out there and you look at your app and you say, "Oh, let me get this. Let me get my data. You pull it up. You go through it. You go out there and you catch a few fish. You get home and like slap your wife on the ass and be like, "Babe, I really hammered them today." And you're proud of that. Really? Yeah, babe, I really worked on their ass. They were on rounded points with shell with a crankbait. Really? Yeah. How long did it take you to find them? Oh, just a minute. I got on my deep dive app and said that's where they were. Give me a break, dude. We're going down. We're going down fast. Johnny is almost done with Block It. He just shakes his head. Johnny's hard for me to watch. I watched him, and after I got off of here, I was sanding some baits and shit, and I was listening to him talk to Ben, and he wouldn't shut up. Like, finally, towards the end, Ben got to talk, but like the whole time he was during the interview, I was like, dude, shut up. Like, you didn't do jack shit. Like, this guy just won a friggin' really hard open to win, and he destroyed everybody. Like, let let him talk. But Amy usually asks, she said, you catch some fish? And I'm like, caught a few. I'm like, did you have fun? Yes, had a blast. That's the thing about me now. Like I like catching fish is a bonus. But hell, I just like getting out there now casting at something in a boat, feeling some sun on me, trolling around, casting. Hell, that's just the like the action of fishing. Uh, the I don't know. I'm as would be expected. I'm anti deep dive app. Sorry if you're a collector, but I could see if you're, I don't know. I mean, if you're on the if you're in the opens and you've never been to a lake and you're completely clueless, would it probably help you? Sure. But if, like, part of me says, do you really belong there if that's what it takes for you to like do something? You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna make it to the Elite Series and then pull out your app when you go to Santee Cooper to like beat Greg Hackney. You know what I mean? Like, give me a break. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you're totally clueless and you're like, if you, first off, I wouldn't have any business out there. But if you sent me, if for some odd reason I just like landed on a bunch of cash and decided I'm gonna leave, I win the lotto, and I'm gonna go fish the opens, and I've never been to Table Rock, take a little look at the app, see what happens. Sure, it's probably helpful, but I guess it depends on the angler. Like, if you could just look at it as a starting point and then like not and then like wipe it from your mind. I don't know how easy to do that would be. Um, if you're really drinking the Kool-Aid and you're like, this is accurate. Uh, and if you could shake it, you know what I mean, knowing that what you're doing is probably, if you go against the grain, you're probably doing the wrong thing. Uh, South Jersey, I did not see that. Bob, it's about the deep dive app. Hackney is one of my favorites as well. Um, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who is that targeted to? 400 for basically a ZFG trout. 400 is pretty pricey. Pretty pricey. But I guess because he stuck that big one on it, he thinks he can name his price. That's a lot of bait, a lot of resin. Probably. That's what we were talking about, Bob. Randy's in cahoots with the kid that started it. Johnny and what's his dick? Matt Steffen. They're the ones behind it. And then Randy's thrown in there. It's like, how can you be against live scope? And then you're like, got these dudes that are like pro this, but I guess they're pro. They like scoping too. So uh, I guess they just agree to disagree, and they just grow their channels. It's just business. But I guess there's probably a gentleman's agreement. Hey, we understand you think this is chicken shit. Just don't. You can think it's chicken shit. Just don't blast us in a video. I'm sure that's the deal. But I don't know. Like if that's what it takes for me to like be competitive, I don't want to be competitive. I don't know. South Jersey, it's all a bunch of dudes with their dicks hung out trying to have sword fights. It's getting stale at this point. I mean, I understand guys want to, you can put your price wherever you so choose and value your time, but it seems like there's a lot of people out there that just uh, like pushing the limits of what they think they can get or what the market will bear, just for the sake of doing it. Um, and I think you're not the only one, South Jersey. I think that is uh, I think that's slowly starting to guys are starting to wake up. But probably for every one of those, like you, uh, there's probably 10 more in line to buy bait. Uh, Talks about elitism. Yeah, you can't. you can't really bitch about the cost of boats and the cost of electronics when you're trying to sell very expensive things. Like, just say you can't afford them. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I can't afford lots of electronics on my boat. Not to say I would have them, but I'm okay with not having them. Like, it's not the industry's fault, or it's not like Lawrence's fault, or it's not anybody's fault that I don't have 15 grand to spend on electronics on my boat. Like, but I'm okay with that. I don't care that somebody else wants to. Like, who gives a shit? If a guy wants to put $60,000 worth of graphs on his boat, oh well. Like, I live down here on the Gulf of Mexico, dude. There's like mega yachts and damn Vikings and shit. Like, I don't. What do I care that yachts and shit costs $8 million? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not buying one. But like, he can't compete, I guess, is the problem. Um, but at the end of the day, if that's his job, if he says he can't compete at a high level without it, that's his own problem. I don't think it's that he can't afford it. A, he could write it off. B, he should have enough long-standing relationships in the industry that he should be able to get a discount on some sort of Lowrance. He's got, or some sort of graphing system. He's got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. That means something. But I think by putting yourself in the anti-live scope, even if he wanted to, now he can't. Right? Uh, who's calling me? Amy. But I don't know. Pattern apps, I think, are worse than LiveScope. I would much rather, just to put it like this, I would 100% be okay if I came in second place in a tournament tomorrow and the guy comes off stage and he says, "Good bag, dude." I say, "Good bag, man. You worked on them." And he said, "Dude, I live scoped every one of those fish." I say, "Good for you, dude." But if he said, "Man, I got on this deep dive app and just followed the pattern, and that's how I won," I would probably throw up in my mouth a little bit. Live scoper, don't care. Beat me with an app, eh, that just doesn't sound, that just doesn't feel good. That feels real bad, real bad. Uh, but I much rather somebody stomp me with a damn live scope than the pattern app. Which is why I downloaded the app today, and I'm gonna go fishing tomorrow and see what it does. Just kidding. Or am I? I can't wait to go to Pigstone with Hella and pull out the app and be like, "Hella, you're an idiot, dude. We're supposed to be over there." He's like, "How do you know?" It's on my app, bro. I don't use because I know I'm not going to share my reels. That's the other thing I was thinking about, Daniel, when I thought about this app thing. The 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 person or however the information is uploaded or uh, compiled is assuming that it's accurate. And I don't know if you know anything about fishermen or not, but they've been known to lie. And I'm guessing there's probably, like, if you took 20 years of data, I would rather have an app tell me what percent of it is accurate, because I don't know. I need to find somebody that's been reviewed in a Bassmaster tournament and be like, uh, how accurate was your description of what you actually did? No, never works, Nate. Until now, you can go get on everybody's fish. Then watch old tournament footage and gather the data. That's interesting. Very interesting. So you just watch Bassmasters and FLWs on Lynn Dollar's channel, make notes on where everybody was. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, if you're targeting, who is this geared towards? Like, if you've got enough money to compete in a bass tournament, and you've like spent a fair amount of chunk of change on a boat and like gear, like, I really don't think this is going to make you good. You know what I mean? Like, if you're an up and coming angler, like, you still haven't learned to fish yet. You still got to go through your growing pains. I guess that's what they're trying to eliminate. No growing pains. No learning from your mistakes. Like, cut all that shit out and just go straight to the damn juice and go through your app. I don't know. I don't know. Watch, there's gonna be some dipshit that comes up, like some phenom, and everybody's like, "Oh, this kid's the next Tony Christian," and he's gonna like top five every tournament in this whole like trail. So I'm like, yeah, deep dive app. If you win a tournament using the app, do you think your sponsors would frown on that? Uh, I don't know. Maybe. Why is Amy calling me 3 times? Uh, yeah, you gotta have a truck bullet. That's true. But like, after you get all this shit, you get your app, you get your gear. It's like, wait a minute, I don't know how to actually fish. Like, I know how to cast, and I know what baits are, and I know how you use them. But there's these little green and brown things that swim around in the water that I don't really know what they do. But I guess you don't have to. I guess this is what that eliminates. You don't have to know shit. You pretty much have to know how to cast, and you have to know that if they don't bite that, throw something different until they do bite it. Maybe it's not so dumb. Maybe I'm the fool. But is it Hella, do you know what the uh do you know what the cost of this technology is? Certainly not free. $9.99 a month, $20 a month, $200 for the app. Don't recall the deep dive app cost. Let's see. Let's look it up on the App Store. Let's just see what this app costs. Download. Deep dive. Your fishing guide. Well, it's got 1.5 thousand reviews. Free 1 week trial. Then what? I used the beta version quite a bit before the weather went crazy here in Virginia. My lakes were not in there, but I used similar lakes. Uh, and the app helped me get on the fish and catch them. If I did not catch anything, I could still use my electronics and find that the fish were actually in the areas, which gives me confidence in using it. Catching fish with the recommended baits put the icing on the cake. Beats other apps that I've used hands down. So the 7 per month, I guess it's $7 per month, is a deal. I can't wait to see where this app is in another year. Will Randy be bashing it when people start winning tournaments with it? Great job, guys. FYI, I do love watching Randy, so tell him I'm joking, sort of. What do you think about illegal info gathering before a tourney? Uh, yeah, that's. I think that is probably which I'm not the first to say this by any stretch of the imagination. This has been said since the beginning of time, but I think that is the number one rule that gets broken in tournament bass fishing that goes kind of into the gray matter area, and that is the information rule. But I thought what one thing that would have turned me off besides the format to the BPT was when they had the rule that they couldn't talk to other competitors about fishing. I wouldn't have liked that because I think that is part of the fun of fishing is if you're like on tour with like three of your buddies and you go stay at the room, like talking about fishing, whether it's like relevant or not, but like, having to tiptoe around talking to your friends about whatever it may be, there just seems I can't really believe that anybody would do that. I don't know. I think it's just um, oh, you can bet, Brian, on those like real big lakes, Fork, Rayburn, Toledo, even like a Kentucky lake that's got lots of info on it, Pickwick, like any of those. Uh, they're probably very, very stimulated. The the Great Lakes, I think, are irrelevant. Um, uh, but didn't they get rid of that rule where they can actually like have conversations with with other competitors about fishing? Uh, didn't they realize how stupid that was and said no? You know, you can do that. Why do I live in Alabama? Because I was born and raised here. Austin got too expensive, and too it was getting a little sketchier by the day. um, yeah, I could see where the drones would be fine. I don't. I mean, I really don't. I don't see what a drone is really going to show you that like you wouldn't get a pretty good understanding of with Google Earth. You know what I mean? Um, like Google Earth will tell you pretty much what you want to see, and you could fine tune it with a drone. But I mean, if you're flying a drone around and seeing where like other people are, I think that's where you probably get into sketch land with drones. Is you 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 probably wouldn't have as many people doing right by the drone and just like looking for fishing holes. You would have dipshits out there like running over whole ledges and like just like marking everybody's boats. Um, but that's the do-getters are not the ones being penalized. It's the guys that would use it for asshole reasons, and it wouldn't be them. They would have somebody else do it for them. But it would be that kind of sketchy shit. You know, there would be some local out there with his drone flying around and then feeding all that info to somebody else. Uh, I was fishing a Niner rig in saltwater in the mid '90s. Now called an umbrella rig or a Bama rig. I'm not sure if it was far really crazy when that got out. Yeah, those were big. I think they were real popular in the saltwater world too. But anyway, I'll think about that. Let me know next time I get on what you really think about competing against your local club and all the members pull out their phone and use an app to compete against each other. Would that be fun for you? If Fort Smith, Arkansas Bass Club goes out for their annual Dardanelle tournament and all 15 members get on the deep dive app and run the same pattern, is that really what we're looking for? You want me to send you the free promo code for the deep dive app? Hello. Privately, I thought we discussed that. Little do y'all know, I'm getting paid by the deep dive app, and I got my own promo code Hella to do this Rant promo. People using human deep divers to scout spots. The only human deep diver we need is to go uh, to Palinix UFO. Uh, I know Johnny Parsley and don't have the app. Morgan, that's because if you went out and won with that damn thing, you would feel like a worm. You could not look second place in the eye and say, "What's up, dude? You need to download that deep dive app and you might would have won." You'd be like, "What?" Like, "Oh, How did we catch such a large bag today? We just followed the deep dive out, like you should have. I didn't know you and Johnny were. That's what Morgan. That's what Hella said, Morgan. That the water clarity thing uh, was interesting. What is it? How does it rank? How does it rate the water clarity? Does it give you like particulate matter, like in volume of water, like how they do it from like the sample site, or is it just like it's cleared and it's kind of muddy, it's stained? His college partner's like your best friend. How about that? Does his do you fish with his college partner, or is he out of it? This is satellite imagery. I always look at the satellite picture of the water clarity before I go to Sinclair. Shows the whole lake. Where do you get accurate satellite imagery that's to the day? I may sound like a total idiot, but where can I find satellite imagery that is accurate to right now? Blast me for sounding like a Randy, but I didn't know such technology existed. I just go out there with my old cane poles, and I'm just an old brim fisherman. I took his college partner. It was my partner before he went to college. How about that? Small world. Small world. You ever fish with Johnny Morgan? That's the honest thing to do. You got to pay to play on the satellite imagery for live stuff. Yeah, but where do you get that though? Like I would certainly pay for live satellite imagery. That's big down here because the water fluctuates so much. Omnia has live satellite imagery. Well, all right, dudes.
Kevin Sam, Joe Allen Dunn, and our special guest today, Mr. Scott. Scott, appreciate you coming in here with us today, man. Appreciate y'all having me. We're gonna milk his brain because he's been catching some big old. Because he's been catching.
Oh, it's live. Travis, you're gonna have to go back and watch. It's online. I found it on a weather app. I didn't pay for it. Premium on Omnia. It's interesting. We used to use an app. Amy and I used to pay for a weather app. It was called Dark Skies, and that shit was awesome. And then it just disappeared. I don't know who bought it or what happened to it, but they were like a really awesome weather app. Morgan, the old fishing partner, teach you a few tricks of the trade. Travis DK just finished his Bud Light. Yeah, I had to go. I had to go drink them. I won't show you how I drink them. I just pop the top and then put the whole thing in my mouth and go. "Whoop, whoop, 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 whoop." I use this app called Napster to get music. Oh, the Napster days. And Kaza and LimeWire. Man, I used to have all of them. I wasn't that wound up, Travis. I was pretty wound up though. Not terrible. Just irked. Bear Share. I didn't have that one. I think I had already suckled all the music I needed by the time Bear Share might have been needed. I had to run out of music to illegally download. Bear Share. Kind of sounds familiar though. Oh, Lars. Yeah, he was not happy. DJI is the easiest to use. It's good to know. I don't know where I'd fly one. Morpheus. The Morpheus was a good one. I had Morpheus. I had LimeWire. I had Kaza. I had Napster, which Napster didn't last long. You had to get all these other goofy ones. But it did trash the music industry. It did. That was when album sales went to shit. That was the beginning of the end for album sales. Now you can just go buy, or you have to buy. People still held on to like trying to support people and buying like pieces of music. But now if I want to buy music, like I would always buy the physical copy. Like rather than spend $10 for like the MP3 download, I would always just buy the physical CD and then rip it. And you get the physical copy. Um, and I actually have bought a fair amount of CDs in the last 6, 7 years. I bought probably like 3 City and Color albums or 2 City and Color album or yeah, I think it's 2 I bought. Uh, I bought uh, what's his name? Supported a few musicians, bought CDs. Probably spent $100 in 20 years before that. I spent just $100 a year. Yeah. Um, bought the Steelwood CDs, but I know Wes personally, so that was more of a supporting them because I'm friends with him. Um, who else? There's a couple that ride around in my truck. Got 2 Billy String CDs. Uh, that was an accident. All right, I'm getting out of here. Y'all be good. Gator Adventures. That's good. I'm glad your son's still buying albums. That warms my heart. That people are out there still buying music in physical form. But y'all be good. Don't use an app to catch fish. See you later.